So today's topic is verbals. Yay! So this is a more advanced topic. It can be a little bit confusing. So verbals are verb forms that act as a part of speech other than a verb. So that's confusing right off the bat because you think of verb forms as acting as verbs or an action, but this is kind of telling you otherwise. And there are three types of verbals. There are gerunds, infinitives, and participles. So next we have participles. There are two types. I have a handy little chart here. So there are present participles and past participles. Now both can act as either adjectives or verbs, but present participles usually end in ing, and they have many irregular endings, and past participles usually end in ed. So it can be a little confusing because you can kind of mistake these present participles with gerund, but we can talk about that next. So, as I said, they can act as verbs or adjectives. So present participles, example for adjectives is the jumping girl left. Jumping is modifying girl. Then we have she is jumping. Now is jumping is a whole verb phrase because is acting as a helping or auxiliary verb. And those only occur when you are using the present participles or past participles as verbs. Now, for past participles, they can also act as verbs or adjectives, as I said. And an example of adjective is accused of an act he didn't do, he was mad. So accused is modifying he or describing he. And then we have he has jumped frequently today. Has jumped is a whole verb phrase, and has is an auxiliary or helping verb, just like present participles. So I hope you guys get participles. Now we have gerunds. Ignore the bottom. I'll get to that later. So gerunds are verb forms ending in ing that act as a noun. Example, I like writing. Another example, writing is my favorite activity because it takes imagination as well as creativity to make something truly great. So you see writing there is acting kind of as two different parts. Sorry. And so we have writing is acting as a direct object there in I like writing, and in writing is my favorite activity, blah, blah, blah. Writing is acting as a subject, and direct objects and subjects are both nouns. So great, because gerunds are verb forms that act as nouns. Now, it's easy to confuse with present participles acting as adjectives. An example is the running girl crashed into the wall. Running there is a present participle, not a gerund, because it is acting as an adjective. Another thing, easy to confuse with participles acting as a part of a verb phrase. Example, she is running. Is running is a whole verb phrase acting as a verb, not a noun. So it does not make it a gerund. Now we have this can be a little tricky. Most people associate nouns with direct objects or subjects, but remember that objects of the prepositions are nouns too. Gotta get that. And example is the girl is healing by sleeping. So sleeping is object of the preposition. Sleeping is the object of the preposition by. Something else really tricky, I think, it's kind of confusing, is she was entertaining. There, entertaining is not acting as a verb. It is actually acting as an adjective because was is a linking verb. So it links those two, so it'd be, you could kind of substitute it as she equals entertaining. So that's kind of confusing. And I hope you guys watch the next part of the video for gerund phrases and infinitives.